Welcome back to another episode of the X podcast. I'm Brenda Rigney. I'm your host, and I'm also a dream biz coach for women entrepreneurs and emerging entrepreneurs that are thinking about leaving their corporate zombie job to start up their dream business. I'm glad to have you here, and today I'm talking about growing and nurturing your email list. And I'm going to highlight or underline the word nurturing because I think all too often people are, in the little realm of obsession about getting their Instagram followers up to 30,000 and getting their email list up to 20,000. And it's not really about that. I just want to point that out to sort of everybody. It's about whether you've got one person or 30,000 people following you, it's about nurturing and building relationships. And if you spend all day long growing your email list, and you don't put any energy into nurturing it, it's going to be hard for you to convert that list when time comes when you've got an offer and you want to put it out there to them. So today I want to share 4 ways I nurture my list, and I'm hoping that you take at least one of these and you start putting it into practice over the next week or so, and let me know what traction you get from it. So the first way that I think is really important and gets sort of overlooked sometimes when I'm nurturing my list is creating good freaking content. So it sounds like it's obvious, like, duh, Brenda, it's an email list and it's about content. And so it should be good. But I'll be honest with you, a lot of times, I subscribe to over 40 different email lists just to get ideas from people. And they're not all in the biz coaching realm. I subscribe to landscapers, gardeners, image consultants, fashion designers, potters. I want to see what other people are doing in other service-based businesses so I can get ideas for myself, but obviously for my clients that I'm coaching. Because everything that I'm sharing with you, I also work with my clients one-to-one on. So, but the truth is I feel that most people need a reminder of what good freaking content means. And so here are 2 rules that I live by. Number 1, I stopped using my email list as just a place to promote other content. For example, I see a lot of people use their list to share, when their new podcast episode or blog has dropped and nothing else. Now, while I think it's important to do that because I'm all about multiple touch points, I think people need to see things 7 to 11 times. That's just kind of a general rule that I've learned in my marketing days. But that doesn't mean that that's the only piece that you're using the email platform for. I think you got to spice it up. I think you got to share lots of different things. And if it's always just the same stuff that you're already sharing already on that podcast channel and already on your Instagram feed, though you're just taking up another piece of real estate where it's not really diversified. It's just the same old thing that everyone else. So at the end of the day, why am I following you? Why am I subscribing to your email list if I'm already getting it off of the podcast channel that I subscribe to and off of your Instagram page? Just food for thought when you're thinking about it. So by all means, include it in your newsletter. So as an example, I'll have a juicy, content piece in there, high value educational piece that's totally in line with what my clients are talking about right now. And then I'm hoping that you are too. And that's why you're following my newsletter. And then I've got a little section called read this and then bite size. And then I always talk about my podcast somewhere, what's the weekly drop for the week. So it's in there because it's I want people to see what I'm reading and listening and learning about, but it's not the full or the sole focus of that message. The second rule that I live by when I'm talking about creating good freaking content is just like social media, the idea is interaction, right? We want to, when we're building relationships and we're interacting with people and we want to nurture our community, it's engaging with them. So we're not just churning out content for no reason. The goal is some kind of touch point. And I think people have kind of lost that with their email newsletters to some point. They're kind of treating it like a grocery store flyer. And you know what happens with those? They get to the bottom of the bird cage or your recycling bin. So you want to make sure that with every email that you're sending out there, you're generating some type of reply, a click link, something other than just opening the email. So that means creating a call to action that has nothing to do with the business sometimes, because it can't just always be about, for me in my area, it can't be always just a business tool, something about the business. I talk about unaligned AF life and business. What am I still doing in my life that gets people jazzed and gets people interested in wanting to consume more of my content? So I think you've got a huge opportunity in the PS section of your email newsletter. You could be doing something like, PS, I just finished, the latest sci-fi novel on X. It was so good. Highly recommend it. Are you also into sci-fi books, or switch out sci-fi to murder mystery, or switch out murder mystery to romance, if you hit reply with a recommendation for my next book, you've made my day. Or PS, looks like I'll be in Madrid in June. Got any must-do's, eats, sees for me? I haven't booked anything yet. That is a fact. I am going to be in Madrid in June with my daughter, and I would love your recommendations. Plus, also if you know a photographer, because I'm now into doing photo shoots on the road. Like when I'm in different cities, it sparks that adventure in me, that curiosity, that learning that I'm always so passionate about and I value. And side note, I'll talk about photo shoots on another podcast. But yeah, if you have suggestions for Madrid in June, drop them even in this, like in the response back to this podcast. I'd be interested. But you'll see that coming up in an upcoming newsletter if you're subscribing to my newsletter, which I'll put in the show notes if you, by the end of this, want to be a part of it. Because I want to engage with my community and I want to know who they are and what they're all about. And it starts a conversation. So now people who might see you as a stranger online can grow to know you as a human, which will work wonders when it comes time to selling. We buy from people we know, like, and trust. Okay, number 2 around how to nurture your email list. Give them a welcome. And this isn't your welcome sequence. So now you've got, hundreds of people adding themselves to your list every week. That would be the dream, right? This, won't be possible, but 10 to 15 people, sure. So you better be thinking, about how to engage with them outside of just your regular welcome sequence. And for those of you that don't know what a welcome sequence is, so for example, you've got like a free masterclass that you've recorded and you're now you're giving it to people to download, or you've got some free, job aid or work tool like a workbook or a 12 steps to doing X, Y, and Z with your clients. I download it, and then there's this welcome sequence that tells me a little bit about you, tells me more about what I downloaded, tells me about your services. I've got some great testimonials and social proof to go through and understand more about you. And then there's your offer, right? Leads into sometimes, and most of the time, a sales sequence. So keep those on, keep those automated. I think those are brilliant ways to continue to nurture your community and to make money while you're sleeping and not in your business 24/7. But at the same time, I think you can add some personal touches around welcoming new people to your list. So take 10 to 15 people over the last month, depending on how many people you brought through, and connect with them. Send them maybe like a 60-second, welcome video into welcoming them into the community and asking them for their engagement, their participation in questions or calls to action. Tell them to send a response back and give you more information into who you are. I tell them I saw them through, XYZ lead magnet. Like I saw you come through my quiz or my starter kit or my podcast or my live event. And I invite them to hit a reply, back with a marketing question or a business question or a follow-up question to whatever material they had downloaded. So you downloaded the starter kit. Great. What are some of your questions that you have about it? Which exercises did you find challenging? Which ones did you find totally connected to your business? Blah, blah, blah. Right? So engage with them around the content that they are most interested in. Or find them on social media and slide into the DMs. I often do that. I'll write down a list of people, that are popping up, that are opening things on my email list, and I'll go check them out on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, and I connect with them there. So those are some things that you can do. And, I recognize that everyone's busy and you've got lots of things going on in the day and in the month. But if you can take like 10 to 15 people and just engage with them, what does that create for you? And does that create, again, more intimacy, more connection with your email list? Okay, my third suggestion on how to nurture your email list is surprise and delight them. So remember that these people came through with a certain lead magnet, this masterclass, this downloadable PDF that you gave them access to, and they're really interested in doing work on that lead magnet to help them, right? So if it's kind of like, here's my 12-step guide to navigating boundaries with family during the holidays, right? So it's like, awesome, I really want to do this. So make the assumption that people have actually, when they downloaded it, went through the content and that they're probably wanting to consume more of it. So is there something that say, maybe you can build on that in the next coming months? Like, hey, I saw that you downloaded my boundaries guide. Here is something like we talked about family and the holidays. Here's my, add on to that, which is my short masterclass, half-hour masterclass on setting boundaries with your boss at work, right? So you're continuing on with that topic of boundaries, but you're just diving into it deeper. You can also get more analytics and to see, on the back end of your email platform to see who's interested and continually diving deeper into the boundaries conversation. So there's a lot of win-wins from that. But it's like fun. Like, you can say things like, how's it going? Like, I noticed that you downloaded my 12 steps to setting boundaries with families over the holidays. How's it going? Like, what did you try? I'm curious what worked, what didn't work. At this stage, I find most clients who try one or two of these strategies are struggling within three key things. These are these key things. I've created this other tool for you. Here you go. Now, I could also say you could sell to them. Maybe you sell a low ticket offer, but you could also add on like another little free experience that they can go through. So give it some thought and continue to surprise and delight them. And then number 4, as far as ways that you can nurture your community over email. And this is a big one. You must be selling to your list. This is how new leads will see you as a resource and not just some random stranger online that they can get free stuff from sometimes. I love low ticket pitch items in here. I totally love selling like my micro courses for $17 or $37. This is a great way that just like build up that low like and trust. People get to sample your content, but there's no reason why you can't also go after a high ticket item as well. Like, here's my 12-week mastermind, or here's my retreat in Southern France, come join it, or pick up a done for you service and let's start making some changes in your business that you want to see. So really think that, that email can be a vehicle to generate sales, and that the point of this email, or this podcast, I should say, isn't necessarily just to make sales. It's to remind people that I'm in business. And while I've got great stuff for members in my free community, I've also got, sorry, I'm going to say that all over again. Edit. So let's go to number 4, which edit. So now I want to share with you number 4 around how to nurture, edit. So now I want to share with you the 4th way that I use to nurture my community through my email list is to sell. And this is a big one. You must be selling to your list. This is how new leads will see you as a resource and not just some random stranger online that they can get free stuff from sometimes. I have a low ticket pitch built into my welcome sequence, right? So that's like in there all the time. And after I've seen people engage with the content, after a while, I categorize them. I tag them in my email system as being a potential warm lead or a healthy lead. And then I'll send them other ticket items, right? Just to see them ascend into my offer suite. So the point of, these sales emails isn't necessarily always to make sales, but it's to remind people that I'm in business. And while I've got great stuff for people within my email community, and there's lots of free juicy stuff that I offer them every week, I've also got even better stuff in my paid communities, in my paid masterminds, in my paid one-to-one services. So if you have more strategies plus a deeper breakdown of, what I covered today in this podcast and you want to learn more about it, send me a DM and I'd be happy to engage with you on it. I also want to let you know too that I have a micro course that I created and I love it. It's all around building and nurturing your email list, and it's $17, and it's there for people that have like I mentioned, I have colleagues, I have clients that have come to me and said, I've got 40,000 people on my email list and they're not engaging with it. Buy my micro course, and I've seen them make massive transformations and how to take it from just a growth mechanism in your business to a nurturing and conversion mechanism in your business strategy. So check it out. The show notes will have the link to it, and I'd love to see you sign up for it. And if you have any questions about the course, feel free to send me a DM, reach out to me on Instagram at It's Brenda Rigney, and try one or all 4 of these suggestions. I can't wait to hear what happens next for you.